Legendary Goddess here, back with another deck profile. So today I will be doing my Silverthorn Venus deck, which you guys might have seen in a couple of tournament videos. I did playtest this in a tournament setting. I got second place. Unfortunately, I lost out to Muro Kumo deck, reverse Hyoki Vogue. I don't really feel bad about losing to that, but in general there were ways I could have avoided that. Among them, misplays, I'm sure. So, first off, my starter is Emil. And, frankly, she is she replaces the other starter, which I don't even remember the effect. But at this point, she's probably the starter you want to play in Silverthorn. So you can put her in Soul, and look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Search for Grade 3, Grade 2, Grade 1 with Silverthorn in the card name, and put them into your Soul. Then you shuffle your deck. So this lets you avoid putting triggers into your Soul, but it also lets you flush out cards that you can use when you're doing your little Soul shenanigans, but also filter out non-triggers from the deck. So it's pretty good. It's a very awesome card, and if you can get it out later on and keep using the effect, it is pretty good to get those triggers to start popping up. So moving straight into it, I run 4 heal triggers. Silverthorn, these are kind of your general right there, general stuff. There's not much difference with that. Then I run 4, and actually 6 crits. These 2 can be anything, but I wanted to run 6 crits, and because of the high offensive pressure that crits give you, you don't want to not have crits. And 6 kind of lets them show up enough, and rarely you might get a double crit in or something like that. In general, crits win games, and so you want a few crits in the deck. Then I run 4, 6 stands. Now, stands make this deck really good. I'm actually debating between going to 8 stands and 4 crits. And I don't want to run draws because there's a lot of plussing in the deck already, and you don't want to put random cards in your hand that you would rather drive check, like triggers and stuff in general. So I run these 2 in case I need to unflip Counterblast, which frankly has not been a problem, but they're there. But otherwise, you want Silverthorn because you want more Silverthorn cards, the most Silverthorn cards as possible to use Venus's effect. So moving on to the Grade 1s, I run 4 Perfect Shields. I don't believe Pelmoon has a quintet, not that I would use it. In general, Perfect Shields are what they are. Then I run 4 Zelmas. This is one of the new stars of the deck. I believe it is a Purple Trapezis clone. Basically, when it goes out onto Rear Guard, you can, if you have a Pelmoon Vanguard, of course, choose a card with Silverthorn in the card name, and call it to Rear Guard. Of course, you're going to put a Silverthorn card into Soul. So this lets you swap cards out, basically, which is nice. So, but you can't grab yourself out to keep comboing that. In general, it fixes your fields, your columns rather, and that sets up for some interesting plays. Then I run 4 of these, and she is Anna. And her ability is a Counterblast 1. When attack hits during the battle that this unit boosts a Pale Moon, you can pay that Counterblast. If you do, you can choose a card with Silverthorn's card name, call it to Rear, then it goes back into Soul. So technically you could call this, put in whatever is in front of it that's already attacked, put it back out, and you have a full column there. But that's one of the neat things that you can do with that. And if you put this behind your Vanguard, it's even more pressure, because people don't like on-hit abilities to hit, of course. So, and last of all, but not least, I run 2 of the Breathing Dragons, and they're the 10k attackers for Silverthorn. This is just for the added offensive pressure. You'll find that this deck is very kind of rushy with the way it's played and with the stands, of course. So being able to whittle them down is pretty nice, and it also lets you end the game typically before Link, Joker, and a few other those kind of clans get started with their stuff, or at least pushing them to end game before they can, fill out the field there. So that's nice. Moving on to the Grade 2s, though. I run 4 of the Mauritius. and she's basically a Counterblast 1 which she hits a Vanguard. If you have a Pale Moon Vanguard, of course. Choose a card from your soul with Silverthorn's card name, call it to rear, and then put it back in your soul. So she's basically the grade 2 version of the booster that we saw earlier. But if you ride her grade 2, and you have the other one as a booster, then it is pretty powerful combination. Well, pretty deadly, and most people will regard that, or let it hit and then you get some fun things going off. Then I run 4 of the 12k attackers, Silverthorn. Standard stuff, they'll hit without boosters, so that's nice. And I run 3 of the upright lions, and they are a plus 3k whenever you get a card from Soul that's Pale Moon. Oh, well, Silverthorn actually. But you have to have a Pale Moon Vanguard, and it gets plus 3k. So it can become pretty decently powerful. But I only run 3 of those because I prefer the other ones. Alright, so moving into grade 3s, I run 4V Luquier Reverse. She's my backup ride, not a bad ride. And the reason I run her is because I'm not shelling out $50 for Luquiers. If ideally, I would run probably 3 of her, 3 Venus, and 2 regular Luquiers. I sold all my Luquiers though, frankly, because they're worth so much money. But yeah, Luquiers would make this deck a bit more competitive, or you can run 4 regular Luquiers, 4 Venuses. But I'd probably have her still somewhere. She's pretty nice, and 11k. That's just really important to being 11k. With the 7k that lets you hit cross rides and whatnot. So then the star of the deck is Venus Luquier. 4 copies, of course, and well, she's a Counterblast 2, Silverthorn. Soul Charge 2, choose up to 5 Pale Moon cards with the grades equaling 6 from your soul and call in the separate rear guards. So, can't use the ability the rest of the turn, of course, and she's a cross ride for Luquier. Because of the kind of deck Pale Moon is, it's really easy to get cross ride, and I think for those of you who watched the Murakumo match, I probably could have won, or not had as much trouble anyway, if I had Luquiers in this deck so I could quit cross ride. But since I don't have that, generally you want to use Emil to filter the deck of cards, and it gives you plenty of a pool of her. And if you use her early, which you do want to use her early if you're fighting like a Narukami or Kagero-kun that could kill it, then you can get her out and filter again. So she lets you filter your deck, and this gives you free cards. So I think of it like kind of like a Monarch Alfred with Pale Moon, or a what is it called? Carmore Liberator. So pretty decent card, and actually I think it's a lot more cost friendly than the regular Luquier. And you can pull, like for some examples, is a grade 2, grade 1, grade 1, and this grade 0 here, just to get full columns. And what you got to think though is you don't necessarily have to not have a full field to use it. If you have the spare resources to use it, it is plussing essentially. So that is good. She's pretty powerful. I haven't really missed her as a ride in most any of my games, so that hasn't been a problem. I kind of sometimes wish I had the regular Luquier, but that's not been too much of a regret. The deck is very fun. I believe it is still quite competitive even in the Legion meta. So do give it a try. Try your own variant, of course, for those who can afford it. Regular Luquiers. But I wanted to make the deck, and I didn't want to shell out a lot of money in that I wouldn't. And I sold my Luquiers because they were well worth the price of being sold. So I can just pick them up later if they ever cheap down. But yeah, this has been Ash from Magic, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.